Raise your hand if you have ever thought or said that. Raise your hand again if you have ever thought or said that about a relationship. Now, imagine for a moment you could turn back time. What would you change? Chances are the reason why you want to change that moment is because you have regrets. But why do we have regrets in our relationships? One of the reasons will be because we believe we didn't get the full value from the time we had. But if time in relationship is so precious, why do we waste so much of it doing things we later regret? I had been searching for an answer to that question for many years, and it took my mother's death from cancer for me to have an epiphany. I found the answer through two simple questions. What caused the regret? What could I do differently? To answer those questions, I need to take you back to the summer of 2020, when losing my health didn't allow me to be with my mother the day she died. My first big mistake was trying to control the uncontrollable, another human being. And you might have noticed that rarely goes well. The consequences of trying to control everything and all the stress that brought with it burned me out. And for me, that showed up as tinnitus, panic attacks, insomnia, and depression, all at once. That led into a painful regret. I couldn't be by my mother's side when she took her last breath. So my mother, the woman who gave me life, died alone. But here I am, 4 years after, standing in front of you, free of those regrets. How? Because I learned something powerful, the paradox of control. The more you try to control, the less control you have. The more you release control, the more you gain control back. I've just showed you one of the dark sides of the paradox of control, but I'm here to also show you the bright side. I will share a very personal story to illustrate how we can use the paradox of control to our advantage and build amazing resilience skills on the way, so we can free ourselves from our regrets and live a life aligned with our true self. Let me take you now to 2017, when my mother said, "Manuela, I cannot cope with the restaurant on my own. Please come back home." At that time, I had a promising career as a CNN journalist in London, but her call put me in a dilemma. Continue my promising career as a journalist, or return to Spain to help my mother run her restaurant? I chose to return to Spain. I didn't know back then, but that decision would give me the last precious 3 years with my mother before she died. My mother and I loved each other deeply, but we were trapped in what I now know is the drama triangle, a concept developed by US therapist Stephen Karpman. The drama triangle illustrates dysfunctional social interactions where people slip into the toxic roles of victim, rescuer, and persecutor. What I would like to share with you is how the paradox of control and the drama triangle led to my regrets in my relationship with my mother. In November 2019, my boyfriend and I were traveling to India when suddenly we received a phone call. "Manuela, I have a tumor in my uterus. Please come back home." That moment marked a turning point. My mother felt helpless, and there were so many decisions to make, choosing doctors, surgeries, treatments. From the moment my mother got her diagnosis, she lived in a constant state of panic and fear, made worse by this war of control of people trying to control her decisions. So I jumped straight into the rescuer role and took responsibility for her life. I put a stop to this war of control. I know they were trying to help her, but I felt they were doing completely the opposite. In December 2020, she decides to have surgery, not to do chemotherapy, and do a holistic treatment instead. So we flew to Tijuana, Mexico. But still, she was doubting her decisions constantly. So out of love, to keep her focused, I blocked all communication with her partner, family, friends, and Google. Control, control, control. We had a beautiful time in Tijuana. She forgot about herself to help other patients, and for the first time, she also forgot about her fear. When we came back to Spain, she went for a checkup. While she was still getting dressed in the room next door, the doctor told me the tumor was back. I was in shock. She just got surgery. We went all the way to Tijuana. We were doing all the right things, weren't we? For the next months, again out of love, I was hiding from her the fact the tumor was back, hoping to keep her in a positive emotional state, which the doctor said was key for her recovery. Then COVID hit, adding to the chaos. So now all the consequences of my controlling behaviors, all the mounting pressure that I had building up, finally broke me. One morning, I woke up with a panic attack and tinnitus, a constant beep sound in my ear. I burned out. I had to get away for my own sanity. As difficult as it was, I left my mother with a friend, and after 2 weeks, for reasons she never shared, my mother attempted suicide. After that, she was hospitalized, where she felt even more isolated. So she called me, Manuela, don't be stupidina. I need to see you. Please come to see your mama. Her words resonated in my whole being and gave me the strength to come back to her. When I went to the hospital, I could see regret in her eyes. She said, we should have done chemotherapy from the start, but I refused to step into the blame game. I told her we did the best we could. No one is to blame. She went silent, and that was when I broke the drama triangle. The moment we both let go of control, the drama ended. She decided not to be a victim anymore, and the more her conditions got worse, the more she surrendered to the present moment. I'll never forget the day I brought her Miguelitos. Miguelitos represented everything my mother couldn't eat as a cancer patient, a cream-filled pastry that melts in your mouth. Delicious. I thought to myself, vaffanculo! I want to see her smile. You cannot imagine her face. We laughed, cried, hugged each other, ate those Miguelitos as there was no tomorrow, and time became eternal. Those were the most precious days of our lives. After our Miguelitos moment, she started to say goodbye. She told me how much she loved me, to listen to my father when she always told me not to listen to him. But her last word was forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive. I felt so lost. I was still suffering from insomnia, anxiety, tinnitus, and depression, all at once. Suddenly, my father, seeing me like this, came in to rescue me. He wanted to reopen the restaurant together. But it wasn't that simple. This restaurant has always created a control game in my family, and the last thing I wanted to do was stepping back into the drama triangle. I just lost my mother. I didn't want to also lose my father for the sake of a restaurant. So I made a conscious choice to step away from the drama triangle and not to play the control game. I let my life in Alicante go, and my boyfriend and I hit the highway with our 2 dogs and a huge mattress to start life from scratch in Tarifa. It was the most liberating time of my life. I loved our container house surrounded by donkeys. I became a yoga instructor, a coach, and an entrepreneur in my own right, finally discovering who I was without my parents' influence. Being brave to let go gave me the freedom to reinvent myself and, ironically, gain control back over my life. And now my relationship with my father is stronger than ever. This is the bright side of recognizing the paradox of control. Bronnie Ware was a palliative care nurse who wrote the book Regrets of the Dying. And do you want to know the top one regret she heard over and over again? I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Working on my resilience skills and letting go of control taught me to live a life true to myself. I decided not to be a persecutor, a rescuer, or a victim anymore. If my mother and I knew we were trapped in the drama triangle, we could have made a conscious choice to step out of it. This way, we would have avoided damaging our relationship and our health. We could be living peacefully together now. The problem was trying to control each other. It is that journey with my mother that gave me this epiphany. And as a result, I can now have more fulfilling relationships, both personal and professional. Now that you also know the drama triangle and the paradox of control, look back to that relationship that made you feel regret. But this time, without beating yourself up. Just become aware of the control game you were in and think of it as a learning opportunity to improve your present and future relationships. Stop controlling everything and everyone. Learn the art of letting go. Build your resilience skills. So next time you listen to Cher singing, "If I could turn back time," you can smile and reply to her, "I wouldn't change a thing." Thank you.